All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Hexbug JunkBots Arielle 51. Haha, Arielle 51, like Area 51, but Ariel instead of Area. I guess because it looks sort of alien is the joke they're trying to make there. I'm not really sure what the implication with the name is. Maybe because it's got the little radar dish. And, it's a little crabby kind of robot. I guess it looks sort of alien, but not a whole lot more than most of the other junk bots. I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty cute little junk bot. I'm not totally sure what the main sort of body section is supposed to be, like what kind of part or machinery it is. Like I was thinking maybe it's like a cement mixer or like a shop vac or some kind of washer or something because it has a little rotating part in there. I'm not really sure. And again, like this is one of those ones where it's like the head. Usually most of these junk bots like have a main body section for the body and then something else is the head, whereas this one kind of incorporates both the head and the body into the same part. So like even if you switch around some of the limbs, it still kind of keeps mostly the same identity as looking like the same sort of junk bot. So whatever, just worth mentioning, I guess. Here it is with this little instruction sheet here. What's kind of strange is on the like image here on the front, it shows this extra piece on the little radar dish antenna piece on the back. But when you actually look at the instructions itself, it doesn't list any piece like that, and there is no piece like that that came in the set that I got this one with. So maybe it's just like an old version that they didn't update or something. I don't know. Weird, but whatever. But yeah, pretty standard junk bots, pretty normal articulation, just like a lot of ball joints, obviously. The head doesn't move or anything just because it's part of this main piece. The little radar dish on the back here can move around like that, move around here, and then this little clear piece can also move. That forearm always falls off. This one shoulder can kind of rotate just because of the shape of the piece that it's attached to. It can't really like rotate much out to the side just because like this little corner on this piece kind of bumps into this little gray ridge there on the body piece. So that's a little annoying, but whatever. The elbow can kind of bend, the hand can bend, although like I said, this piece, something about this piece in particular just does not hold on to this ball joint super well, so it tends to fall off a lot. This arm just rotates around like that, and then the little hand can rotate on there as well. And then each of the legs, the two front legs are on, similar pieces like that, and then they both have it's not the same piece, obviously, but this piece kind of has it goes up like this and then bends with the ball joint in there, so it's attached like that, whereas both of the back legs are, kind of straight pieces that just plug straight up into it, which, doesn't make a huge amount of difference in terms of posing it, but worth mentioning, I suppose. But yeah, it's cute. What's kind of like not as exciting about this one, I feel like, is just like it seems like, none of the pieces that it's made up of are like really identifiable pieces of like, machinery or garbage or anything like that. Whereas like that's part of the whole fun of the junk bots is like, oh, they're kind of these little found object robots, which, they all have some pieces that are just sort of like abstract scrap metal and stuff like that. But usually they have a few more things that you can kind of pick out. Whereas this one, like even the main body, I'm not totally sure what it's supposed to be. And every other piece is just like a little piece of, abstract scrap metal. So it's a cute as a little robot, but it's, not quite as exciting as a junk bot per se. In terms of comparisons, for Transformers comparisons, here he is with Soundwave and Bumblebee. Obviously, Core Class Soundwave, G1 Bumblebee. Here it is with a BotBot. And then here it is with Jack Static, our sort of default junk bot, the poster child of the junk bots. So yeah, it's all right in terms of its use with the modules. We can bring them on here. We'll start off with the vibrating module, which you can just plug onto his back. And yeah, that works pretty well. The vibrating module is really my least favorite of the three, just because like it's the least clever. It just, makes the whole thing shake. But the vibrating one does work better on ones like Arielle 51 that have these little sort of spindly crab legs because it allows them to sort of jitter around on the table a little bit easier. For the motor module, you just plug it in like that, and you can see the little bit in the center there rotates around. that's pretty cool. You know, it's subtle, it's not too obtrusive. It stands just fine while that's happening, but it's still a pretty cool effect there. And then the LED module, just plug in like that. And then where can you plug it in? We've got a couple spots here on the back that go into like the main body here. There's a spot on the back of the head there that you can plug in to make the eye light up. And there's a spot on the little radar dish to make that clear plastic piece light up. So we can do those just to show what that looks like. And yeah, that works pretty well. I find that with the main body section, it doesn't really light it up like super well unless you have like both of the little holes filled with the LED things, just to, get more of like a full light there rather than just being on one side or the other. But, it's still pretty cool either way. It works well in all of those places. So yeah, works pretty well. I think that the LED module is probably the one that I like the best with this one, but to each his own. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about this one. Not too crazy complicated. Again, like I've been rating these as keep or edit or scrap, and this one is sort of an edit for me, but it's really just an edit just because like some of these parts I wanted to use on other builds. So I just kind of use different parts to make up the like a few of the limbs on this guy, just so I could use the parts that are existing on this mold in other builds. So like it doesn't really, I don't know, none of my changes really improve it a whole lot, I would think, but just allowing for some different parts use. I do think the one thing that I do like to change for this guy for the better is to take this bit and use that as like a little shoulder extension on this one arm, so it's got a bit more articulation, just because like otherwise the arm can't go out to the side a whole lot, and I think that looks better. And then I can just use something else here for the leg, the little part of the little vacuum piece that makes up that little dinosaur head that we see in a few other guys. I think that makes a pretty cool little claw leg there. And yeah, it's still relatively the same. Just to use the radar dish in a different way. Sometimes I plug that on there to have be sort of a little gun arm. Now I say that, it just like won't stay in this piece, but there we go. So, not overall, like I said earlier, like even if you switch around some of these parts, you're not really changing the identity of this guy a whole lot, just because it's still going to look like this little crab alien with the shop vac, I guess, body. So, whatever. Mostly an edit for me, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this one. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and without further ado, here we have Hexbug JunkBots Arielle 51.